KFSC is having our annual rally against sexual assault during the Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we're so honored to honor two wonderful leaders in the community and in the movement. And we're also very happy to partner with so many community-based organizations that are doing the work on the ground. But most importantly, our future and current leaders of our youth participants, they're the one who led this wonderful rally every year. So we can't be any prouder for these young high school students. And this is a Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and if you're a victim or if you know anyone who's suffering from sexual violence, please call KFSC's Korean American Family Services hotline. The hotline number is 718-460-3800. Please call for help. You're not alone. Rally Against Sexual Assault started about 4 years ago. A group of our high school students who are in our youth program wanting to do some rally against during the Sexual Violence Awareness Month. So the Korean American Family Service Center provides a variety of social services and programs to the immigrant survivors of gender-based violence. So we're a dual organization that serves immigrant survivors of domestic violence, but also sexual violence. And oftentimes the victims of sexual violence are silenced, and we've seen that during the Epstein file case, and that they are not being heard. So KFSC, especially for those immigrant survivors who do not speak the language, who do not have access to resources, KFSC is here for them to make sure that we're giving them the voice, not only the social services that they need in terms of the healing journey, but the fact that we're giving them the voice so that they could get the justice that they deserve. I just want to reiterate the fact that KFC is for all immigrants of survivors of gender-based violence, and that you're not alone. And if you're a victim or if you know a victim, please reach out to us so that they could get the proper services and the support that they need. And our hotline number again is 718-460-3800.
Story kind of starts from the rally against sexual assault. My sister was also a member here at YCPT, and seeing the first rally that she was doing, it kind of inspired me to also become a part of a greater movement, and I wanted to become a part of a change in society.
I was inspired since last year coming to the rally against sexual assault. There was a speaker, a survivor of sexual violence, and her story was so moving, and I feel like there needs to be more people involved in this, since it's so empowering just seeing all these people here for the same cause, for the same movement.
To our peers, I would like to say don't be scared to start a movement and to become a part of something. And really, it starts from a small action, joining a community, and yeah, you can start from small things.
I think just don't be afraid to speak up for other people, since that's the most important thing right now.
One thing that our peers can do is start by kind of talking amongst each other, because one small story can really share to the world by talking amongst ourselves, and it can share through that.
I think just listening and observing to the people around you, you never know what someone else is going through, so just being compassionate and empathetic towards other people, I think that's the first step towards making a change in the world.
I really hope to be a part of a world where people will empathy and compassion for one another, a world where people aren't afraid to speak up for what they believe in.
I'm fighting for a world without violence. I think there needs to be more movement about this, especially during times like these.
I mean, the shirts say it all: break the silence, end the violence, right? We need to end that violence through support, like we did today, communal, municipal, all types of support being behind that legislation, change the laws, find the glitches in where, it can be changed. And then I think advocacy. Advocate like you're doing right here, right now, but make sure it's done with the voices that need to be heard, because those voices have been silent for way too long, and we can't do that anymore. Speak up. When you see it in your homes, when you see it in your friend circles, when you see it at your schools, at your places of worship, speak up and say something. That's how we're going to end this violence. Korean Asian communities, keep up the great work. I see you. You're on the steps here at Borough Hall. I remember marching in Murray Hill, right? And it's advanced from Murray Hill all the way here. Take it to the federal level. You can keep moving, right? So I appreciate the KAFSC organization, Korean Family Services, and the work that Jihae does every single day. So keep up the great work.
As the Assistant Commissioner leading the Gender-Based Violence Policy and Planning Unit, what are the key goals and responsibilities of this?
Well, our key goals are that we continue to strengthen relationships in the communities that we serve so that we can best support survivors of sexual and gender-based violence, and to ensure that our investigators are trained to the optimal levels so that they, in their work, have the tools that they need to support survivors through the very difficult process of reporting and through an investigation up to prosecution.
How are trauma-informed and culturally sensitive approaches being implemented in investigations and policies?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I wanted to do when I came here was ensure that we were giving culturally sensitive and culturally specific care to our survivors. So it was so important for me to build relationships with the different community-based organizations serving survivors from different cultures and connect them with our investigators. So I've been bringing in Garden of Hope, Women for Afghan Women, Jihadi Sisters, South Asian Women Project into our special victim squads and introducing them to leadership and to our investigators so that they know each other, they can collaborate, they can work together when they have a survivor from a certain community that needs more help than we were equipped to give them at NYPD.
You've already mentioned extensively working with immigrant or gender-based violence center organizations. And are there any other efforts you'd like to highlight being made to strengthen trust, especially with immigrant and underserved communities?
Well, absolutely. One of the other things I'm doing, aside from making those connections, is we want to start bringing these organizations in to train our investigators. We want them to be ingrained in the fabric, part of our training. That way we continue to strengthen our response to survivors of sexual and gender-based violence and our relationships so that we can best support the survivors that we are serving.
How does collaborations across agencies work in practice, and what impact does it have?
Well, everything has to be a collaboration from the moment that a survivor walks in to report. Like I said, they need wraparound services. And then we work very closely with all of our district attorney partners and our federal attorney partners. That way we're in lockstep as we're doing these investigations, coordinating steps, and building the cases to be as strong as they can be to support the survivor, give them healing, and bring justice to them for what happened.
What do you think is the most critical pinpoint needed in addressing sexual and gender-based violence?
Well, I think there has to be a lot of education and outreach in our communities. Like I said, we're out there talking about this, talking to our youth, talking to our young people, educating them on sexual and gender-based violence, providing training for our investigators that is top-notch, bringing in national experts to train on trauma-informed interviewing and investigations, on child forensic interviews, and on vicarious trauma. And we have to continue looking at our systems, looking at where we have gaps, and addressing those gaps with solutions that work to ensure we're getting it right, because when we're working on these sensitive cases, we have to get it right.
Is there a message you'd like to share with survivors and the broader community?
Sure, and I mean, it's the same message across the board. We at NYPD are here to support you. When you're coming to report, we're here to just help you through the process. So come, we're here to help, and we are here for you, and we will give you the support that you need.
Hello everybody, my name is Gia Fisher. I'm the Executive Director of the Korean American Family Service Center. We've been serving immigrant survivors of gender-based violence for over 38 years, and we're so proud to stand with all of you to give voices to these survivors who otherwise will not. So, and we cannot do this movement, this effort alone, and this is my honor to introduce our co-sponsor, and they've been so supportive of the work that we've been doing, and I can't be any prouder to introduce this very important co-sponsor of Queensboro President's Office of the Deputy Queens Borough President, Ebony Young.
All right, who believes in standing with the people that are not getting what they deserve and how they deserve it? Give it up if you believe in standing. That's right. I want to thank everybody for standing together, for raising your voices in support of survivors and in the fight to end sexual assault. Today is about solidarity, accountability, and action. It is about making clear that in Queens and across New York City, we will not tolerate violence, silence, or injustice. Who believes this? All right. I want to recognize the Korean American Family Service Center for their extraordinary work in this. Jihae, Fisher, yes, Joanne Kim and team, their commitment to supporting survivors, empowering youth. Let's give it up for our youth, guys. They're the future, and strengthening families is truly inspiring. They have created cultural competent, community-based resources that ensure that no one is left behind. Their work reminds us that prevention and healing must be rooted in understanding, compassion, and accessibility. I also want to recognize and congratulate Councilmember Sandra Ung for receiving the Trailblazer Award and Kathleen Baer on her appointment as the Assistant Commissioner at NYPD. This is This is a tremendous achievement and a testament to both of your leadership, dedication, and deep commitment to public service. We thank you. Kathleen has done incredible work throughout her career, centering survivors, strengthening trust between communities and law enforcement, and pushing for more compassionate, effective responses to sexual violence, and we thank you for that. Her new department is the first of its kind, let's give it up, in the nation, representing a groundbreaking step forward in how we address and prevent sexual assault. It reflects what is possible when leadership is bold, innovative, and issues are dealt with head on. This initiative is not only about supporting survivors, it is also about addressing the systemic challenges that allow violence to persist. It works to strengthen service providers, expand resources, and ensure a coordinated borough-wide response. Through this initiative, we are building a framework that provides and prioritizes dignity, equity, and long-term change. But we know there is still more work to do. Who knows there's still more work to do? Give it up. Ending sexual assault requires all of us. Government, community, organizations, advocates, and residents working together. It requires us to listen to survivors, to invest in prevention, and to challenge the systems and attitudes that enable harm. There are enablers of harm out there, and it needs to stop. Let today be a reminder. Survivors are not alone. Queens stands with you. We believe you. And we will continue fighting for a safer, more just future for all. Let's give it up, guys. Keep up the great work. All right. Thank you, Jihae.
Thank you, Ebony, for your powerful speech. Always a pleasure to have you. This is so like I said, we cannot do this alone. I also want to give it a big shout out to our staff members who are doing the work. We're serving our immigrant survivors every day, and also our volunteers who also not only serving our survivors, but also answering our 24-hour hotline. What's our 24-hour hotline number, everybody? It's 718-460-3800. Make sure you remember that. Okay, this is my honor to present the Leadership in Action Award to Kathleen Collins-Baer, Assistant Commissioner of the NYPD's Gender-Based Violence Policy and Planning Unit. Throughout her career, Kathleen has been on the front lines of combating domestic and gender-based violence, from prosecuting child abuse and intimate partner violence cases to building groundbreaking sex trafficking investigations centered on survivor safety and dignity. In her leadership role across the Bronx District Attorney's Office and the NYPD's Special Victims Division, she has strengthened how institutions respond to survivors, prioritizing trauma-informed, culturally responsive approaches. She actually invited KAFSC to talk to the NYPD officers to talk about the culturally specific services and programs, because what KAFSC does is quite unique. We're not just serving the survivors, we're serving the immigrant survivors who have language or cultural challenges. So this is why we really appreciate Kathleen's leadership, including the immigrant survivors' voices. So please join me in honoring Kathleen Bear. I'm gonna present the award first, because this is a beautiful award. We specially made it for her.
Right. That's beautiful.
Kathleen, thank you so much for all your leadership.
Wow, thank you so much, Jihae and the Korean American Family Services Center and everyone who has gathered here today. You guys are all amazing and your voices matter. My work in this field will always be and has always been about the survivor. Making survivors feel heard, making survivors know they are believed, and making survivors feel supported through the very complicated criminal justice system. Leading the NYPD's Gender-Based Violence Unit, it is my mission to build bridges so that survivors in every community feel safe when they come forward to report a crime of sexual violence. Working with organizations like the Korean American Family Services Center has been key to moving this mission forward and building these bridges. We work better when we work together. So many others being willing to work with us at NYPD to provide culturally specific support for survivors as they come forward. South Asian Women Project, Jihaji Sisters, and the Garden of Hope, who is here today. Your willingness helps to create systemic change in how we respond to crimes of sexual and gender-based violence. Your work is critical and so very important. I'm so thankful to Susan Jacob, who's here today from the Queens Family Justice Center, for helping me build these bridges, connecting me with these amazing organizations and bringing them together with the NYPD. Her work is helping us build trust in all of the communities that we serve. Susan, like me, is all about the survivors. I'm incredibly honored to receive this recognition today. Thank you so much to Jihae, to Joanne, and to the entire Korean American Family Services Center for always working with us to strengthen our partnership and ensure we are strengthening our shared mission of supporting survivors. We work better when we work together. Thank you all.
So this other leader that I will be introducing is, I've known her for many, many years. She's been the advocate for survivors, immigrant survivors of gender-based violence. She was also an attorney specifically serving immigrant survivors of gender-based violence. A survivor of the Cambodian genocide, Council Member Sandra Ong. Come on, everyone. You could do it. Does this work? Yes. Okay, so Sandra's early experience shaped a lifelong commitment to protecting vulnerable communities, and that's exactly what she does every single day. After immigrating to New York City, she became an attorney, advocating for survivors of domestic violence, helping families find safety and stability. Today, in the City Council, she continues that work, championing policies and services that support survivors, immigrants, and those too often left without access to care. I have to say, Council Member Sandra Ong was the champion to create an initiative on the city council, initiative specifically for the culturally specific organizations like KAFSC that are supporting the survivors of the immigrant survivors of the gender-based violence. So I cannot thank her enough. She actually created a $3 million initiative for those who are doing the culturally specific work for the gender-based violence services. Her leadership reflects both resilience and action, grounded in lived experience and dedicated to justice. Please, please join me in celebrating Councilmember Sandra Ong. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Thank you. And this looks the same, but still beautifully crafted and made. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor to join all of you today, the 2026 Rally Against Sexual Assault. I want to first thank KAFSC, especially the Youth Community Project team, because I know you've been doing this every single year. I was with you when we were Murray Hill, and now we have been in Queensborough Hall. So thank you for the youth putting on this project. I know it's a lot of work. Receiving the Trailblazer Award from this organization really does mean a lot to me. And I want to commend all of you for having this event every year. I know we do this as an annual event. We do this as an annual event every year because unfortunately, this is still a concern, it's a challenge, it's an issue in our community that people just do not want to talk about. I think we really have to be very honest about that. You know, it is still very taboo in the Asian American community to talk about gender-based violence, to talk about sexual assault. There's some degree of shame if this has happened to you, and this is why this event, I want to make sure everybody, whoever experienced this, has the ability, and they know there are groups out here, people here today, and many more that's not here today, are here to support you. And I don't want anyone in our communities, especially the Asian American community, to think that, you know, this issue has already been solved. This issue is not existent anymore. This is a family issue. I hear that a lot. It's a family issue. It is not a family issue. This is a community issue. And that's why we are here today, as a community, to come out. And about this initiative that Ji-Hye was talking about, I would say the first time when I worked as a staff attorney helping a very young woman facing gender-based violence, and she called the cops because her husband was abusing her. She was the one who got arrested because of language barriers, because she wasn't able to explain to the cops what was happening. So somehow the husband turned it into she was the abuser. She was assaulting the husband, and then she got arrested. And from that experience, I realized how important it is that we have organizations that is here today, like KFSC, all the organizations today. I'm going to shout out Garner Hope, because I worked at Garner Hope on that case. That it is so important to have these organizations to be here for victims and then survivors of gender-based violence. Again, I'm really so honored to accept this award today, but the work is not done. I want to tell everybody here, the work is not done. We are still beginning, and then one day, hopefully one day, and I know there's October, we have our Domestic Awareness Month, that one day we do not need to have these events anymore. But until then, we are still working together in partnership, and thank you all again for this honor. Really appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Assemblymember Alicia Hindman. And to the young people that are gathered here, thank you. You could be sitting somewhere else on your spring break, but you're here standing tall to say that you want an end to domestic violence. You are our future. And we know that for a lot of families, it starts young of what people are seeing in the household. So the fact that you're here tells us that you are going to be the advocates that we need to make sure we stamp it out. No more victims. No more victims. No more victims. We want to make sure that every community understands, no matter how much money you make or don't make, no matter what color you are, domestic violence knows no barrier. And that's why it's so important that the Advocacy Day today for KAFSC, and all of the people that are gathered continues to be working hard for everyone. I have to say that for our Deputy Borough President and the colleagues that are with us, don't think that because you don't see us, we're not working to make sure the funding is there to make sure there are no more victims. It knows no gender. It knows no economic barrier. It knows no race, no religion. Domestic violence is what united us all here today. It is my goal to make sure we end domestic violence, and it all starts with everyone here. There are a lot of speakers, so I will decrease so they can increase. Thank you so much for your advocacy today.
I'm just here so grateful for my advocates, for my young people, for the nonprofit groups, Garden of Hope, KAFSC, Asian American Coalition's here as well, and my colleagues all the way from the Bronx is here as well, and of course the honorees, my Flushing Councilmember Sanjay Ong, and the Assistant Commissioner of NYPD. Thank you so much for your work. Unfortunately, things are getting worse. Things are getting worse because we live in a state that has the greatest wealth that we've ever created in civilization. But we have the worst upward social mobility. That means people are stuck, people are feeling desperate, and people are feeling frustrated. And as a result, we are seeing more and more gender-based violence and family violence against women, against children. And we're seeing it in our communities every single day, and some are not even speaking up yet. Some are just taking it, and it's not right. That is why we're here today to say, we have 6 words, everybody. Turn around here. 6 words, very simple. Break the silence and end the violence. That's it, 6 words. Just remember those 6 words. That's it. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Septimo. I represent the South Bronx in the State Assembly. And it is the honor of my life to represent my community, but it is equally meaningful to come to communities around New York. We're here together in Queens to stand against the plague that is gender-based violence, that takes the form of domestic violence, sexual assault, and so many other forms of violence that victims across New York suffer in silence. It is a plague. It is one that we are too quick to cast to the side for one reason or another, to say, that's family's business, I'm not gonna get involved in other people's business, to say boys will be boys, to say maybe she drank too much. These are all of the ways that we work to minimize people's pain. All words that we use to excuse the inexcusable. And the reality is, like Sandra said, we all have a stake in it. Whether you are experiencing this personally or not, we all have a stake in it, because this is our community problem. It's not an individual family problem. It is everybody's charge to take gender-based violence seriously. It is everybody's charge to make sure that young women in particular, and young men can go to school and feel safe, can walk the streets not fearing of sexual assault. Being able to wake up thinking about how to reach their goals, not how to protect themselves from an attack. That's a community effort. It's going to take a community effort to change that. But it also takes meaningful action from the state. That action has to look like investments. Investments in organizations like KAFSC that work with our immigrant communities and show them that there is help out there, that make it so that victims are not re-victimized over and over by systems that don't understand them and their culture. That is the kind of investment we need to see. We also need to make sure that we are closing laws that have loopholes, that make it so that people continue to be re-victimized by systems that don't understand the lived experience. We have to close the intoxication loophole that we have at the state level that says if you drank too much, maybe you should be subject to abuse. We have to make it so that in every way possible, we are not only introducing compassion to our laws, but responsibility. Recognizing that sexual assault and domestic violence are not these incurable plagues that we can never get rid of. But it actually just takes meaningful investment, everyone taking on the charge, and laws and resources that reflect that same commitment. So I want to thank every single person who is here but especially to the young people. Thank you for standing up to do this work. Young people are the leaders of tomorrow, but like Jihye said, also the future, the present. And as present leaders, you are standing up to say enough is enough. We see the world changing every single day, and it is because of young people like you who are stepping up to lead, unafraid to say things have to change and we're going to change them. So thank you to everyone who is here. I know together one day we will have this rally and we will be celebrating that once and for all we have rid ourselves of the plagues of domestic violence, gender-based violence, and sexual assault. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am very proud to be here on behalf of Governor Kathy Hochul, who sends greetings to everyone and most of all, appreciation to our state legislators, to our city council members who are here today, to our NYPD leadership that's here, but most of all, to the leadership of organizations like Korean American Family Services Center, to all of the organizations in the collective, to Garden of Hope, and to our survivors. We hear from a lot of people every day who talk about the issues that are important to them. But when we hear directly from survivors who are forced to repeat the stories of their traumas, the worst things that happened to them, in order to fight for their dignity, for their rights, for more funding, please know that we hear you and we see you and we appreciate your service to all New Yorkers. And I really want to thank the young people who have come out today, like you said, during your spring break, to talk about breaking the silence, ending violence, and that really does start at the earliest ages. It starts in high school, it starts in middle school, it starts in recognizing what a relationship can and should look like. So I really thank you for being here today. I do want to just quickly present this proclamation from the governor, which declares, thank you, Governor, which declares April officially in New York Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And I am so appreciative of Jihye's leadership and everything that you do here. So thank you for fighting for New Yorkers, for fighting for culturally responsive services. The governor is with you, and we just so appreciate what you do for New York every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Councilmember Lee apologizes for not being able to be here today, but she is fighting right now to make sure that survivors and victims are heard in her new capacity as finance chair. Also wanted to thank Jihye, KAFSC, Garden of Hope, AAC, and all the other groups in the collective to make sure that not only victims are heard, but are helped as they become survivors and they go through the legal system and beyond. The work cannot be done without the young people here, the organizations, and just everyone involved in the community. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanya Lira. I'm the Constituent Service Liaison for New York State Senator Jessica Ramos, who represents the neighborhood of Jackson Heights, Corona, Elmhurst, East Elmhurst, and some part of Rico Park and Forest Hills. I want to start by thanking the Korean American Family Service Center and especially the Youth Community Project team for organizing this powerful rally against sexual harassment. To every young person who raised their voice to make this event happen, thank you. Your advocacy and organizing is proof that the next generation refuses to stay silent. We gather on the step of the Queensboro Hall in the heart of the boroughs to send one clear message to the survivor: you are not alone. April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It is a time to not to only raise your awareness, but to educate our community about what this month represents. Our community is unfortunately too familiar with sexual assault. I'm moved by the youth organizing that made this rally come to life. Change comes from the youth education, and this shows us all that we are taking a step in the right direction as a community. Consent, respect, believing survivor, and building a world where sexual violence is no longer tolerated. Senator Ramos' office is committed to stand with survivor every day, not just in April. That means fighting for resources, supporting prevention program, and ensuring that every survivor who came forward is met with compassion, not doubt. So today we celebrate KAFSC's youth leaders for leading this church. We stand in solidarity with every survivor, and we pledge to keep educating ourselves, our neighbors, and our communities until safety and dignity is real for all. Thank you all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sandeep Kaur. I'm Director of Asian Affairs for Senator Schumer's office. The senator is unfortunately not able to be with us today. He is not in the state. But can we just give... Good? Good? Okay. Can we just give a round of applause to all these young people here today? How amazing is this that this topic that has long been stigmatized by so many communities, by so many adults, is now being championed by, of course, Jihye and her team, but also all of these young people here, which gives us all hope for a much brighter future. Senator Schumer has been a long-standing leader in the fight against gender-based violence, from helping author the landmark Violence Against Women Act, and to continue pushing for its reauthorization and expansion. And we're so proud that in this last fiscal cycle, we were able to fund and help fund the amazing work that Garden of Hope does. And we are so excited to continue funding organizations like this so that we can continue doing this good work, not only in Queens, but across the entire state, which is so, so important. Thank you so much, and a huge congratulations to Councilmember Sandra Ung, so well deserved, and of course, our Assistant Commissioner as well, Bayer, who has done such amazing work in leading the path. Thank you so much.
Hi everybody, my name is Chanel Martinez. I'm Chief of Staff to Councilmember Shekhar Krishnan, who could not join us today because he is a few blocks down serving in jury duty. Which serves as a reminder of how important it is for our justice systems to reflect the communities that they serve. And that starts with you all here today fighting for the inclusion and representation of our diverse communities in our justice system, in our advocacy system, and fighting to protect survivors. It's why Councilmember Krishnan was proud to stand with Councilmember Ung and Councilmember Linda Lee to secure $3 million last year for legal services for immigrant survivors, and why it will continue to fight to protect survivors. So thank you to KFSC, to all of the young people standing here today, to all the advocates standing with us today to ensure that we break the silence and we end the violence. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will keep this short. I just want to thank KFSC and all the sponsor organizations for everything that they do day in and day out. Their work is incredible and extremely important. And it is such a big impact on our immigrant communities, and we need to end the violence, break the silence. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's so nice to be here with all of you. Can we give a huge shout out to the youth? I had an opportunity to meet a few of them, and I'm so inspired by each and every one of you. Thank you so much for this amazing work. Thank you as well to Korean American Family Service Center, including the amazing Jihye Fisher, for her incredible leadership. Thank you. They go above and beyond for survivors. We're so happy that they're at the Queens Family Justice Center. And I also want to thank Kathleen Bayer. Congratulations to Kathleen. So well deserving. She has transformed Special Victims Unit, the way NYPD responds to special victims cases. We are so grateful to be working alongside Kathleen Bayer. Thank you as well to Councilmember Ung and all the elected officials that are here today. I also want to say, just to talk about survivors for a second. Every single day I work with survivors at the Queens Family Justice Center, and I see the enormity of the pain that when they walk into the Family Justice Center. But what I also see is hope and resiliency and the power of collaboration when partner agencies like Korean American Family Service Center, Garden of Hope, and the other partners that are working in the community coming together, working with NYPD and other organizations, the power of collaboration. I see when they walk away, there is hope. And that is why this event is so important. We all know someone who is impacted by sexual violence or domestic violence, whether it's personally or someone that we know. So the most important thing, that's why I enjoy this event every single day, because I feel the community. I feel the power of collaboration, that survivors know that they are not alone, and we stand with them. Thank you.
Good morning, Queens! representing the Department of Youth and Community Development. I'm sorry, our commissioner wasn't able to be here today, Sandra Escamille, but she is honored and she is with you and stands with you about sexual assault. And all these young people's work that we're doing and the message, not just in our community, but throughout New York City. Stand strong and we'll continue to be strong. I appreciate you. DYCD does. Appreciate your work and your support, and we stand with you. Thank you so much for having us today.
One of the things that becomes clear very early on in the work that we do, all of us here today, is the devastating impact that instances of domestic violence and sexual violence has on our communities and our families. At times, it seems that there are days where that fight, that struggle to break the silence, the struggle to end the violence, feels particularly uphill. And there are times where you feel like you're just shouting in the storm. And I think one of the really great things about events like these, one of the things that make days like these today so important, is that it does let us know that we aren't that one voice shouting into the storm. I look around and I see these young people, and I think to myself, because I have been feeling my years lately, I think to myself how very lucky we all are that they're standing here, because it reinforces that long after some of us here are gone, retired, or just gone, that we're going to have these fine young people standing the lines in the fight against domestic and gender-based violence. And I cannot tell you how humbled I am to be standing here. I will end with just making two promises, one from Kevin Fulham and one from the NYPD. As long as I am here, as long as I'm in the position that I am, as long as I am on this earth, breathing this wonderful air, I will be an ally. I will be someone to fight the fight with you all. From the job, I can tell you this. If you decide, wherever you are, whoever you are, that today is the day that you want to break the silence, I promise you that we are here to listen. I promise you that we care. We will, one of the things that we always stress, and I think days like today are particularly important to stress it, we here in the NYPD, we who investigate these terrible instances of domestic and gender-based violence, we don't care about immigration status. We don't care about anything else aside from the fact that we are here to help you. We want to listen, we want to get you the services that you need, and we want to get you the justice that you deserve. So I'll just end it the way I began it. Today, like every other day, I have spent incredibly humbled by the people around me, and I'm just very, very fortunate to be a part of this group. Thank you so very much.
Hello, my name is Allison Ma. Thank you for everyone's participation and precious time. Rally Against Sexual Assault isn't just a event, it's a movement. Through this movement, we're actively trying to change the perspectives on sexual assault. We, the Visuals Production and Design team, over the past few months have been designing and perfecting banners that you can find anywhere at this event. With compelling visuals, we're able to convey the crucial importance of RASA. Creativity has always been a way of expressing myself in ways words simply cannot. I remember sitting with my team, scattered rough sketches around the table, as each of us carefully debated and chose details that would send the real message to the audience. Every poster individually thought out, scrapped, and reconsidered. We wanted our posters. Our team knows the importance of these banners. It would represent the message our organization carries and the message the audience leaves with. We wanted our banners to show the authentic passion we know our organization holds. Every stroke of paint, erase line, curve, and adjustment. When the posters are ready, we stood back, and in a shared moment, we knew our hard work had paid off. The creative expressions of each member working towards the same purpose allowed awareness to become action. But these banners are not meant to be admired and forgotten. They're meant to disrupt the silence and demand change and reform. Through this event, we hope awareness turns into responsibility. We hope the message follows you. May these posters plant a quiet fire in your heart, one that lingers and grows until silence is no longer an option and an unstoppable action takes form. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at the Korean American Family Service Center's annual Rally Against Sexual Assault. My name is Cynthia, and I am honored to represent YCPT, the Youth Community Project Team. For the last 37 years, KFSC has been a lifeline in our city, operating 24-hour hotlines, hosting the Silent March, and building a sanctuary for survivors. But KFSC didn't just stop at providing services. They invested in the future. They invested in us. We are a coalition of students from 16 different high schools across New York City. Every Friday, we don't just sit in a room to listen. We gather to facilitate. In YCPT, we believe that facilitation is the ultimate form of empowerment. It isn't a one-way street where a teacher speaks and a student listens. Instead, it is a shared journey. When we facilitate discussions on sexual assault and teen dating violence, learning happens both ways. The facilitator grows by holding space for others, and the student grows by finding the courage to speak their truth. Through this exchange, every thought is validated and every voice becomes a tool for change. By mastering the art of facilitation, we aren't just learning about social injustice. We're practicing how to dismantle it. We're fostering a culture of inclusivity where leadership isn't about power, but about purposeful connection. Today, April 9th, 2026, we take our seat at the table alongside New York's most established organizations. We're here to prove that the youth are not just leaders of the future. We're the facilitators of justice today. Thank you for standing with us, for believing in our voices, and for marching towards a more safer, more inclusive community for us all.
Hello, my name is Hayden, and I'm a junior here at Borough Science. According to RAIN, Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network, a teenager in the U.S. is sexually assaulted every 9 minutes. Not every day, not every hour, every 9 minutes. Most of the time, the perpetrator isn't a stranger. It's a trusted friend, a classmate, or a partner. Earlier today, many of you answered a question on our posters. What percentage of parents believe teen dating violence isn't an issue? The answer is 80%. The reality is that many parents are unaware, but they aren't the only ones. Too many of us teens still lack the tools to recognize the signs of violence, define consent, or respect boundaries. Accepting this as a norm is what makes the issue so dangerous. My commitment to this cause is personal. I plan to pursue a career in child psychology, dedicating myself to healing broken families through empathy and therapeutic support. For me, my work with YCPT and the Korean American Family Service Center isn't just volunteer credit, it's my passion. So, what can we do? It begins with education. When I joined YCPT, I realized it was about more than just the volunteer hours. It was about gaining the language to break the stigma. But that knowledge shouldn't just stop with one person. It has to travel. One student talks to a friend. That friend educates their classmates, neighbors, and even their parents. That one truth, spread person to person, has the power to change a community. Let's start that conversation today. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm the domestic violence advocate at the 109 precinct in Flushing. I'm honored to stand here with you today in support of KFSC and in solidarity with survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence. As an advocate, I see firsthand how deeply violence can affect a person's life. Survivors deserve more than survival. They deserve safety, dignity, compassion, and a community that stands beside them. This is why our work is so important. Safe Horizon has advocates in every precinct across the city, as well as advocates in the Special Victims Unit. I'm proud to work with KFSC and refer clients there because healing happens when survivors are connected to caring, trusted support, And if you or someone you know needs help, the New York Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-621-4673. To every survivor here today, we believe you, we support you, and we will keep showing up for you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Zainab Ahmadi, Case Manager at Women for Afghan Women. Every day I work with individuals who are navigating trauma, fear, and uncertainty, yet I also witness their strength and resilience. As professionals and community members, we have a responsibility to do more than just listen. We must act. That means creating safe spaces, believing survivors, providing culturally responsive support, and holding systems accountable. At WA, our work goes beyond raising awareness. We are committed to prevention, education, and standing with survivors, not just today, but every day. Together, we can build a community where dignity, safety, and respect are not privileges, but rights for all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Ira Clark. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the campus coordinator for the Alliance Against Sexual Assault. Thank you so much for having us here today. Emily Miles and Clarissa Espinoza would have loved to be here, but they're doing amazing things elsewhere to support survivors. So with that being said, I want to say thank you so much to the Korean American Family Services Center for welcoming us here today. We really wanted to support survivors and uplift the experiences of all the young people that are here today, being active leaders, and we're grateful that you're doing that today too. For all the survivors that are here today and all the survivors elsewhere, we want to say, especially those who are from immigrant communities, that we see you, we hear you, and we are always here for you. We want to make sure that you have all you need to thrive, to navigate your experiences, and to know that your experiences are real and true and represent who you want to be with yourself in the future. It's a collective responsibility, not just as organizations, but as neighbors, leaders, and allies to ensure that survivors have all they need to move forward, and that we are as culturally competent with support, safety, and justice to make sure that they have the services they need to thrive, essentially. So with that being said, we want to say that we stand with KAFSC and all the partners here today to say that we are building a better future for survivors, and we are going to make sure that youth, such as yourselves, are at the forefront, because of course you all are the future. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Yeah, thank you for having us today, and then thank you, KFSC, all the elected officials, and our partners, nonprofit partners. Yeah, my name is Amy Tai. I'm the co-deputy director at Garden of Hope. We have been serving the gender-based violence survivors for over 22 years, and every day we see the resilience and the strength of these survivors who have faced deep trauma and often in silence. Especially, we know that in Asian community, keeping this in the family is sometimes expected. It's a huge stigma in this space. So we also want to know, to tell everyone, sexual assault affects people of all ages, backgrounds, and communities. Yet too many survivors still feel alone and afraid to seek help. It can be cultural stigma, it can be language barriers, it can be also fear. Yeah. And that is why our work is so important, not only to provide support and services, but to create a space. And this is a collective space, which I like a lot, and where survivors are believed, respected, and empowered. So events like this today remind us that we all have a role to play in raising awareness, challenging stigma, and build a community. Thank you for standing with us in this very important work. Thank you.
Stop the lies! Survivors' lives! Break the chain! End the pain! What do we want?